In today's episode, I'll reflect back on my first tournament and hopefully give you some ideas so that you have success in your first tournament. Welcome to the NITRO Does Hockey podcast. I'm your host, NITRO. As some of you may have seen on my personal Instagram, I've signed up to play in a tournament in a couple weeks. I was contacted by a gal that I had met in my first tournament back in it was like February or March of last year, and she said that they were looking for players and asked if I was interested. So I decided to step a little bit outside of my comfort zone and to go for it. Given that I met this gal in my first tournament and I want to set myself up for success in my second tournament, I thought it was a great opportunity to reflect on that first tournament experience. So the first and only tournament that I've ever been in has been hosted locally at our Iceplex. This, of course, made a ton of logistics so much easier. I didn't have to travel more than 5 miles to the tournament. Yes, that's how close I live to our Iceplex. I didn't have to pack. I had access to all my food and a full kitchen and all my spices, and I know all the tools and how to use them in my kitchen. I had my own bed. My routine, come in, park in the garage, come in, I put my hockey gear in a certain spot, and the whole thing. Everything was the same. I also knew our facility, I knew our parking, I knew where exactly to go, where to sign in, when they said what locker room we were in, I knew exactly where to go. It was a good kind of easing into a tournament, because it was maybe a lot more hockey to play in a short time frame than I was used to, so it was nice to have some things be easy. It was a great way to be in my first tournament. It also kept costs low. I didn't have to pay for a hotel. It reduced stress in so many ways. And I was playing with a good chunk of my regular adult rec league team. So it was a bunch of Ogopogo players. And then we had a few friends mixed in because not all of our players were available. So that was pretty neat to play with most of our friends and some new friends. Since there were so many of us on the team that played on that same rec league, the Ogopogos, we played under the Ogopogos team name. It was also nice because then we didn't deal with getting jerseys, just another logistic. We did have the opportunity for some of our friends that joined us and didn't have Ogopogo jerseys. We kind of had a mocked up, much less expensive faster to print version of our jerseys that they could use, and it was $30 or $35 for it versus $75, $100, $150. Certainly quality is different, fit was a little different, but it worked. We also let people use our sub jerseys for our team. So a couple options there, but definitely one less logistic to worry about. In that tournament, there were 3 teams in our division. There was us, there was the Narwhals, and the Bighorns. So we ended up playing each team twice, so we played a total of 4 games, and we ended up going 1-3, 1 win, 3 losses. But I'd say that the games we played, the 2 games against the Narwhals, were really competitive. They really could have gone either way, and we ended up splitting with them. So that was really cool, competitive. I think it was fun. It was fun for us. Hopefully it was fun for them too. Another cool thing, 3 of the games were at our Iceplex, but one of the games was actually played on what we call the Big Ice over in the arena, which is where our AHL team, the Firebirds, play. It was really, really cool to be able to skate and play on the Big Ice. And they walked us down the stairs and the tunnel and the whole thing. Very, very cool. It was also the first ever game that the Ogopogos won. And so to win it on the Big Ice was amazing. We had fans in the stands. People had brought signs. People were celebrating. One of our friends was taking pictures, and everybody was just going bananas. All of our fans knew that we had played a lot of games and had never won one. So it was a big deal. Overall, I would say the whole tournament was a great experience. I would do that tournament again, but this year's tournament happens to be on the same weekend as my family reunion. And as much as I love playing hockey, I do love my family and my reunion a little bit more. So shout out to my family. So in preparation for my upcoming tournament, I thought I'd also reflect on some practical things so that I can control what I can control and set myself up and hence my team up for success. So first thing is I took the whole day off work on that Friday of the tournament. For the local tournament, I did not take the whole day off because we had one game it was like late afternoon. It was close, like the tournament's close to my house. So I didn't take the day off work. I knew my work day was going to end early just due to the nature of what I was doing that day. And it was going to end in plenty of time for me to get over to the Iceplex and play our game. And then Thursday night happened. And we found out one of the teams that was coming from far away and had to take a plane, their flight was canceled. And so they got booked on the next flight, but their next flight was going to put them in the Palm Springs airport like after their game would have started. And so clearly the organizers didn't want a team to like forfeit a game because they didn't have enough players or try to figure it out. So they ended up swapping the schedule a little bit and moving our team to an earlier Friday game because we were playing the Bighorns, who are also a local team. So in theory, everybody was already in town. So I ended up, like, work was cool. We figured it out. I got to play in the game. But from now on, I'm taking Friday off. We also have another tournament locally in December. Same thing on Friday. I took Friday off. So learn from my mistake. I can always decide to work Friday morning if I get up and I don't have a game until later in the day. I can always work. I work from home primarily, so it's easier to kind of give the day back if I don't need it than to try to take it if I haven't taken it. So the tournament I'm playing in here soon in a couple weeks is, I wouldn't say it's local, but it's local to Southern California, so I'm driving to it, and it's like a 2-hour drive. And so if our game isn't until late Friday, in theory, I don't have to take Friday off work, but I took it off because you just don't know. All right, takeaway number 2, get all my snacks and drinks ahead of time. Since I was at home, I had my car, I know the stores in the area. It was also a pretty hectic week at work leading up to the tournament, and I wasn't really needing to pack or prepare to go anywhere. I didn't really think about or prep food very well. Worked out okay. Also, our schedule ended up being really weird because we played 2 games on Friday and 2 games on Sunday. Yeah, I don't think we ended up not having any games on Saturday because of the swap in the schedule. So anyway, it was kind of a weird schedule. Having some prep food might have been nice, but I didn't. It's how it worked out. But definitely for an away tournament where I'm going to be staying in a hotel, and I don't know the stores and who knows what's around there and I don't know what the schedule is yet. So like time in between games, who knows what it might be. So I definitely need to have snacks and drinks and food. I'm got a hotel with a microwave and a fridge. Have all of that with me at the ready. And although I am traveling to this tournament, I'm also driving. So it should be pretty easy to take a bunch of food with me. If I were flying, I'd probably have to like look into grocery stores and like stores close to the hotel or grocery delivery or something. So I don't have to deal with that logistic. I just need to have food and put it in my car. Okay, we've got that. So it'll be nice to not have to go searching for food, and I'll be able to maximize my rest time. And depending on the time between games, that might be really helpful. Okay, next takeaway 3. 1 base layer for each game, not each day. So I have a bunch of these, they're just like Russell athletic compression long sleeve shirts. Nothing special, but they do the job. I like it. I don't like pads to be touching my skin, the straps on it. I need a long sleeve layer under all that. So I've got enough of those to bring one for each game and not each day. I am always super sweaty and gross after a game. I need to take that base layer off. I am not going to want to put that back on. So one per game. I'm definitely a packer that's like, how many days are we going to be gone? And I need to not fall into that trap. Similarly, one pair of socks for each game. This might be a carryover from my hiking career, but keeping the feet fresh, dry, and clean is critical. No sweaty socks. Even though the socks that I use are meant to get sweaty and keep your feet dry, I just don't want to take any chances. I don't want to get any hot spots. I don't want, nothing. The feet are so important. Again, carryover from my hiking career. And I do have plans in an upcoming episode to talk about sock selection, the socks that I've tried, and what I kind of ended up with. So, because it might not be traditional. Spoiler alert, I do wear socks. I know some people don't. I do. So stay tuned for that. I don't know when I'm going to do that, but it'll be sometime. Takeaway number 5, since I'm going to stay in a hotel and not at my house, I need to think about some tips so that I can sleep better. Sleeping's been a challenge for me lately. I'm not sure why. Phase of life. I'm not really stressed out. I'm not sure. I was on vacation, so maybe it's a schedule shift. It's also super hot where I live right now, so maybe that's part of it. Regardless, what can I do to help me sleep better when I'm away from the house? I'm going to bring a fan. I need white noise, but I definitely need air movement. Anytime I've stayed in a hotel or anywhere other than my house and I don't have a fan, I am uncomfortable. So I need that air movement. So we'll bring a fan for that and white noise. I did recently buy a small bedside fan. It's like USB rechargeable. So I'm going to bring that and hope it does the job. I think it will. Fingers crossed. Also, since I'm staying in a hotel, I cannot let the television distract me and let me stay up too late. This is a trap I fall into on work trips or whenever I'm going to a hotel. At my house, I do have a TV, but I only have an antenna and a few free streaming options like Tubi. So when I go to a hotel that has a million channels, I am very likely to get distracted and stay up way too late watching ESPN SportsCenter or NFL Live or one of those things, depending what time of year it is, or something like Law & Order SVU as another example. So I cannot let myself get distracted and stay up late. Point 6, I need to do my best, but also not take things too seriously. I'm a retired collegiate athlete, so I can get really competitive. But I'm also playing with people I don't know. We're in the novice division. I'm a novice to the sport. I make mistakes all the time. I need to give my full hustle, but realize that I don't know these teammates' tendencies. I have played with 2 of the gals that are going to be in the tournament before, so I know some of their tendencies, but I don't know all of my teammates' tendencies. We're going to fall down. I'm going to fall down. I'm not going to skate fast enough. Somebody's going to beat me to a puck, or I'm going to overskate a puck and beat somebody to it and overskate it. I can't stress on trying to be the best or not letting my team down. I just need to be the best me. I don't have to be the best player. If I'm doing my best, that's literally all people can ask for. So hockey is really a game of minimizing mistakes and maximizing opportunities. And I can do that by hustling and just doing my best. at this level, it really needs to be about having fun, learning, meeting new people, having good experiences. Hopefully I'm part of somebody else's good experience, and those are really the most important things. And finally, I need to make sure I double check my bag before I leave. I need to see if I need things like clear tape, tape for my blade, like any of those kinds of things. Also make sure that I have put in hockey socks. I'll bring some extra jerseys just in case like something happens and I need a jersey. They're providing one for me, but you know, stuff happens. So also, do I have gloves, all my padding, the helmet? Like, I need to make sure I have all the things that they've all made their way into the bag. Also, I'm gonna actually be near one of like the hockey stores that's in Southern California. Actually, the closest one to my house, and it's still 2 hours away. So I also want to just check to see, am I low on any of those tapes and supplies? So I have a drawer that I put all my extras in so that I can just go to it when I order in bulk. I need to double check that. And not just what I have in my bag, but my complete store, because I'm so close. I could definitely head over on Friday, since I took the whole day off, and buy some of those things and have them with me. So, and probably look at sticks, because that's what hockey players do, right? We look at sticks, we try sticks. We wonder if this stick is gonna be the silver bullet, the magic bullet that makes us instantly better. So probably that also. So what tips, what things am I missing? If you have suggestions or tips for me, I would love to hear them. You can click on the send us a text link here on the show page, and you can send me your advice, or you can leave me a comment on Instagram, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can leave a comment. I really appreciate your suggestions, your tips, and your support. Thank you for spending your time with me. Until next time, I'm NITRO. Bye.